Hi, the reading for December 20 is titled Glory Revealed, and our main text is Luke chapter 2, verses 1 to 7. This passage reads, "About that time, Emperor Augustus gave orders for the names of all the people to be listed in the record books. These first records were made when Quirinius was the governor of Syria. Everyone had to go to their own hometown to be listed. So Joseph had to leave Nazareth in Galilee and go to Bethlehem in Judea. Long ago, Bethlehem had been King David's hometown, and Joseph went there because he was from David's family. Mary was engaged to Joseph and traveled with him to Bethlehem. She was soon going to have a baby, and while they were there, she gave birth to her firstborn son. She dressed him in baby clothes and laid him on a bed of hay because there was no room for them at the inn. During this time, Mary and Joseph lived. God's people were under the control of the nation of Rome. The leader of Rome made a law that everyone must travel to his hometown to be counted in order to pay taxes. So Joseph and Mary made the trip to Bethlehem, the town of Joseph's ancestors. Bethlehem was known as the city of David because that is where King David was born and chosen as king. After Mary and Joseph arrived in Bethlehem, the time came for Mary to have her baby. Unfortunately, the inn where the travelers could stay was completely full of other visitors. Mary and Joseph found no place to stay except a stable where animals were kept. Mary gave birth to her firstborn son, the promised king and savior from David's family among animals. The one that God's people had been waiting and longing for was finally here. Mary wrapped the baby tightly in strips of cloth to keep him warm and laid him in the manger, the box of hay where the animals ate. 8 days after his birth, the baby was called Jesus, just as the angel had said. Wouldn't a palace have been a better place for the King of Kings to be born? How strange for him to enter this world in a stable with animals. Then again, it's not so strange when you remember that this king was also a lamb, the lamb, who would die for human sinners. This baby's birthplace This baby's birthplace was no surprise to God. God was showing the world that he was coming down, even to the lowest of places, to rescue his people, to live with them again. This time, the creator of the universe wasn't going to live among his people in a garden or a temple. He was going to live among them in a human body, a body just like theirs. Like every other human, this baby would get tired and hungry. He would need to sleep and need to eat. He would eventually feel everything other human beings feel: pain, sadness, anger, joy, and love. But even as this baby grew up, he would have no sin. He would reflect God's image perfectly, showing the world exactly what God is like. This baby was both fully human and fully God. He was going to be a walking picture of God's glory for everyone to see. The story shows us that Mary gave birth to her baby in a stable in Bethlehem and laid him in a manger. This baby was both fully God and fully human, and he was a living picture of God's glory. And as we are just a few days away from Christmas, let us take a moment and reflect on how Jesus Christ reveals the nature and the glory of God in ways that humans like you and me can see.